Welcome back to Sunrise. The time is 17 and a half minutes after 6, which means it's time for your girl, our favorite Teak of the week. Good morning to D.K. Dawkins. Good morning.
You know, I feel like I'm coming out on a stage. Dun, dun, dun. Good morning. I'm telling you. Thank you so much. Great morning.
Yeah, how are you?
I am fantastic. I'm fantastic. Are we ready?
We are.
You look ready, Andy.
We are.
Do this. We're ready for combat.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, let's talk about what's happening in the news. Locally based U.S. school under scrutiny for sexual assault allegation. Another locally based U.S. school is in the crosshairs of allegations of sexual abuse and labor trafficking. A U.S.-based lawyer told the CVM news team that she's seeking to get a child out of what's deemed an upsetting situation. But there are some roadblocks. Just a few months ago, allegations of ill treatment to students at the private boarding school for U.S. children, the Atlantis Leadership Academy, led to the school being shuttered and 5 people being charged. Now, another school for North American children has come under the microscope. The Youth of Vision Academy, YOVA in St. Mary. The attorney says the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA, has been inconsistent in their dealings with the U.S. teen. So that is something that's an ongoing situation that we'll definitely be following up.
You know, we have to look at schools that, you know, set up offshore in places like Jamaica, because they do so, I think, partially to, they can pull the child out of the U.S. system and set up, you know, almost like a tropical whatever. And it's a, back in the days in Jamaica, you used to call it famatory school. You know what I mean? Reformatory school. So them saying you got a famatory. And you know, I guess it's supposed to be tough love and, you know, maybe things that you can't do in America.
Right.
So you can't come to Jamaica, come do. But it's a U.S. school. Let's emphasize that. In this story, I've not heard what this specific allegation of sexual assault is. I don't know. Is it an allegation of assault by a student on a student? Is it assault of an administrator? I don't know what is the allegation I'm trying to get. The truth is that I don't think it's necessary. While the other school had its own problems, I don't know that. I don't want to try to confuse or conflate the two because the allegations are very different.
Right.
And so, you know, you wouldn't want to say too much and to now be lumping them
both together
because they are two U.S. schools.
Right.
But the truth is that we have to protect brand Jamaica so that brand Jamaica doesn't become seen as a haven for schools, institutions that want to flout U.S. law, setting up here and being able to do things that they couldn't otherwise do.
I think one of the challenges is that we are dealing with underage people, and so there's not a lot of, even if there is a lot of information out there, it's not a lot of information to be shared based on the age of the person involved and based on the nature of the situation. So it's really just to let you guys know that this is happening in another US-based school, but the details, as you can imagine, it's not necessarily something that will be widely shared at this time. Yeah.
But I think because this is not a first instance of a US-based school having question marks hovering over them as to ethics and morals of what is happening within the institution, I do think that our government has to get involved to say what is happening on our soil, with not a domicile situation where you can come here and just set up and do anything you want to do, because we also have laws that protect and prohibit certain things. So we do have to get involved.
Which is why then you naturally have to have a conversation about the policy and regulatory framework that guides these kinds of institutions that are not Jamaican institutions. They're not necessarily for Jamaican children. So, because it's just like you want to create a type of tourism for the people, like health tourism,
Yes, medical
educational
tourism,
tourism,
education
that people,
tourism, yeah.
you know, you set up facilities that people will want to come here
Right.
and have these kinds of setups. Fine. But there needs to be the proper regulation.
Correct.
So you have to have a framework for
in
it.
place. Yeah, absolutely.
Jamaica don't equal free for all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of schools, UTech launches STEM summer camp. So in a well-received reversion to its founding mandate, the University of Technology, UTech, launched a STEM summer program for secondary students. Addressing attendees at the ceremonial launch on Tuesday, Deputy Prime Minister Horace Chang spoke to the necessity of programs like this and the establishment of new STEM schools island-wide. The two-week affair is geared towards high school students with a disposition to pursue math, robotics, mechatronics, drones, photography, and videography. Dr. Chang drew attention to the construction of several new STEM schools across the island.
Is that in St. James? Is it taking place in St. James? Because I see a lot of St. James people in that clip that we just, in that B-roll that we just used. So it would be good if, like, they're not only having it on the UTech campus.
The main campus in Kingston.
We just love the fact, I mean, getting some focus on STEM and having it open up to the secondary students and having them have access to things like robotics. Can you imagine people have never had access to
You know, I
robotics?
have a very specific question.
What's
Would they have to have already been enrolled in a secondary institution, or if they're heading to high school? I know a few kids who love robotics who would enjoy this thoroughly, but they're not quite yet high schoolers, are they?
Hopefully it's annual. UTech, let's make it annual.
Yes.
Hopefully, so that if they aren't, if you have to be in secondary school already, hopefully next year they can jump on
Anything of this nature, I love it.
Me too.
I love that
too.
we can create this excitement around education, around learning, and moving in the direction where we're literally allowing tech and, you know, what we already know as, you know, our standard curriculum to marry and merge and just come up with new possibilities. I love that.
Absolutely.
Love that.
And make nerd stuff cool.
Hey, nerds!
Finally!
We love nerds. We love nerds. But last up, Copa. Listen, remember to tune in to live and exclusive Copa coverage today on CVM. Catch Panama versus USA on CVM Plus at 5 p.m. and at 8 p.m. It's Uruguay versus Bolivia. Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Bolivia.
Sound like you took a trip down to South America.
Right.
That's what I have for you today.
Big up Duolingo, eh?
Hey.
Mercy said no. All right, that's it for the Thursday headlines. When we return, we'll get a taste of some island flavors with Miss Pearlie Grandson in Sunrise Foreign Exchange. Stay with us.